Confidence breeds envy and jealousy. If you are a little bit too confident, a little bit too self-assured, if you are comfortable with who you are and how you are, people who are jealous will not like you. They will treat you as if you've done something wrong because you lack self-esteem issues and you are not insecure within yourself. When a person sees you confident, friendly, taking care of yourself, doing the best you can as a woman and striving to do better, people who are jealous and envious, they will treat you as if you're doing something wrong. You will see this oftentimes within family, working environments, anywhere where you have to be around people on a continuous basis. You often see these kind of behaviors displayed amongst women. They will say things to you as if, you have like an air about you. You act like you're this. You act like you're, you have like so much confidence, like you're that, girl, like you're, above us or something. And when people speak that way, you don't have any control over how they perceive you. Now, when somebody tells you that they think that you carry yourself like you're better than them, what they're saying is that they don't value themselves, and in your presence, they feel inferior. That's what they're saying. And you have absolutely no control over that. See, self-confidence is exactly what it says. Self-confidence. You have to know that you're that girl, that guy, whoever, when you're around different people. It doesn't matter what that person is doing, what that person is wearing, the kind of lifestyle they have, the kind of business they have, the kind of money they have. If you are a woman who is confident within yourself, things like that will not bother you. But when a person is jealous and envious, your very presence will strike a chord with them. They might feel the need, and you see this in working environments where women are around each other a lot of times. They'll see a woman who is confident in the office. She's walking around, she's friendly, she's fit, she takes care of herself clearly, and she just likes to be, light in the office, light in the environment. Well, a woman who is jealous and envious, they typically say things like, oh, why is she so happy? There was a little phrase going around in my city for a while called Joe. Oh, she acting Joe. Anytime you're being nice, anytime you're being in your femininity and not being a no-limit soldier, this is one thing that I believe a lot of women who are jealous and envious and insecure, they lack femininity because they've been programmed to believe that they have to be no-limit soldiers, that they have to be hard, that they have to take life serious all the time, that they can't be too girly or otherwise they're going to be perceived as weak. But when a woman is confident and self-assured and she's in touch with her femininity, you will see her walking through, her energy will be felt wherever she is. And a person who is jealous, that's like kryptonite to them. A confident, feminine woman is kryptonite to a woman who is jealous and insecure. And you, as a confident, feminine woman, you have to make, and I know it's probably not going to be what you want to hear, but you're going to have to try to go out of your way, especially if you're in that environment, like an office environment or a school environment. You're going to have to try your best to be more nice to that jealous person. Because when people feel like they want to pick at you for some reason, it's because of their insecurities. And people like that, you really have to pity. You really have to, what they say, you want a hug, like what you want a cookie, you want a hug. You have to give them verbal hugs. You have to give them reassurance. People who are jealous, they more than likely have never had anybody tell them that they're beautiful, that they're kind, that they're this or that. And a lot of times it's because they're not displaying the behaviors that would warrant somebody to want to give them that kind of reaction. But you, as a feminine, gentle woman, have to exercise a little bit of your patience with that person and try to make conversation with them if it's possible. Believe it or not, a lot of jealous people, they don't really want to be that way. They just don't know anything else. And a lot of that has to do with how they grew up, their environment that they're currently in, maybe their relationship status. All they know is hardness. And I think that's the culture of how society is right now for women. All women really know is how to be hard. We've been taught from a young age oftentimes that we have to compete with men, that we have to be as strong as men, that we have to do exactly what men do. And because of that, women partake in these non-existent contests within themselves amongst other women who are normally not even worried about them. And when you're dealing with a woman who has a competitive mindset towards other women, they're always threatened by somebody they don't know. They dislike people because of kind traits. Women who are jealous and envious of other women tend to be envious of another woman's kind-hearted nature because once again, it comes back to the programming of women being more masculine instead of feminine. They always will look at women who are more feminine, more kind, more gentle, more soft, as if they are a target to be picked on, to be belittled, to some way be bullied into dumbing themselves down in order to make that jealous person feel good about themselves. And you will see this when women take little pot shots. You might be looking really nice, but she'll go out of her way to pick out something about you and try to use that as a dart to bring you down. And if you're not a feminine, confident woman, you will let the miserable rhetoric of jealous, envious women do that to you. But back to my original point, I know it's hard, but the more you lean into your femininity and you have that kindness and grace about yourself, you will understand, as a feminine, confident woman, you have to be an example for jealous, more hard, more masculine women. And especially, once again, if you're in an environment where it's like a work or a school or, just anywhere where you have to be in that environment, even with some of your family. Some of our family, they've been raised in the old school, which a lot of things were traditional, but also within the Black community especially, it's very matriarchal where the women are more so in charge. The women are more so, leading everything. The women have a whole lot more say than what the men do. And that's just been traditionally down the line where Black women tend to be a little bit more hard, a little bit more rough. And of course, I'm speaking to all women, but I'm a Black woman. So naturally, I'm going to speak to certain things pertaining to just us. And I see the hardness a lot within us because it's programming passed down from decades and decades ago. And I know a lot of it is because many women of color, had no choice because men weren't doing their job. But with that came that hard nature, that hard decorum, the way they just carry themselves like they're soldiers all the time. And that has trickled over to looking down on women who are still traditionally soft and traditionally feminine. And now, when it's not course corrected, women who are used to being more masculine, now they become jealous of women who are now getting in touch with their femininity, who are leaning into being more soft, who want to have a more soft life, who don't want to do everything the hard way, who wants to look beautiful and not be ready to run at any moment. I was taught that, you really want to wear sneakers wherever you go, especially if you go out because you never know if something will pop off. Feminine women with the feminine soft mindset, don't worry about things like that. But when women are more hard and more masculine, they just tend to always be in fight mode. And that'll be another thing that women who are jealous and envious and insecure, if you're not in constantly fight mode, if you're not ready to pop off at any moment, if you're not the ghetto friend, if you're not the ratchet friend, I'm sorry, I just had to say it how it is. If you're not the pop off queen, if you're not the one who's always down for whatever, you will not be liked. A lot of women, when you're more feminine and more confident, you choose your battles wisely. I know the more I leaned into my femininity, the less time I had for a whole lot of drama, a whole lot of arguments, a whole lot of fussing. I don't really feel like I need to insert myself into other people's problems and make it my problem. But women who are not in touch with their femininity and have insecurity and jealousy, all they know is somebody else's issues. They haven't taken the time to work in their own self-development, their own feminine development to become better women. And when they come across women who are not worried about what other people are doing, they're focused on themselves. When they carry themselves like women, And that's another thing you do not see today. And I'm not saying all women, but a vast majority of women are carrying themselves in this way where it's like, hey, the face you see is the face you get. I rolled out of bed. Look, I'm going looking however, I don't care. The image of women. When women don't care about their image, their femininity fails, and eventually their life will fail. If they don't care about how they look physically, if they don't take care of their mental, if they are spiritually depleted, of course they're going to be jealous and envious of a woman who's walking around who has a level head, a beautiful body, and a beautiful mind. Of course they're going to be jealous of that. And you, as a confident feminine woman, hopefully a woman who has a spiritual understanding, you have to show more kindness to those kind of women. You have to offer them a little bit of grace. And I know none of this is popular that I'm saying, but you have to offer them and extend a little bit of grace, because a lot of women were not taught how to be feminine. A lot of women were not taught that taking care of your appearance and focusing on how you speak and the tone of your voice and showing respect and using manners. A lot of women were not taught that. So when they come across a woman who is more feminine and you're saying your pleases and your thank yous and your excuse me's and you're having a little girl chat and you're smiling a lot, they'll look at you like you're weird. They're going to look at you as if, oh, why is she so happy? What's she so happy for? I remember my daughter telling me, and she's a teenager, so teenagers, girls, they have their moments. And the thing about the teenage thing, when it's not nipped in the bud early in life, they turn out to be mean girls telling you and saying the things that I'm saying right now. But my daughter told me she was in like chorus, or they have some choral music or something, and she was singing, dancing around, just enjoying herself in the class. And she said she looked over and saw a girl just looking at her with like the skunk eye, like that kind of thing. And I said, what did you do? She said, nothing. I just rolled my eyes and kept on singing. I said, good. But I give you that example to tell you that sometimes the teenage girls become the women who are doing those same things, all because they see your happiness, all because they see your joy, all because they see your confidence and your level of unbotheredness, and the fact that you're not letting life harden you, the fact that you enjoy being a woman. And that's another thing, that many women who are jealous and envious and insecure, they don't really enjoy being a woman because their womanhood is more like manhood. They don't understand that to be a feminine woman, to be a woman, is to be able to be surrendered. And when you surrender, and this is my opinion, but I believe is wholeheartedly the truth, number one, you must be surrendered to God. Because when you're surrendered to God, you truly understand your nature as a woman. You understand that you weren't built for certain things like a man was built for certain things. So when you're surrendered to God, you can surrender to your femininity and you can act accordingly as a woman. Number two, when you're in a relationship as a woman, many women who are insecure, jealous, and envious of more feminine, confident women, it's because they are hard in their relationship. It's because they are the man of their own dreams. It's because they don't know how to submit to the men in their lives, or they might not be able to because the men are feminine. And that's unfortunate. But when a woman doesn't have a soft landing in her life, she's naturally going to be jealous of the woman who does. She's going to be jealous of the woman who smiles when she's speaking about her boyfriend or her husband. She's going to be jealous of the woman who, seemingly has a happy home life, because she doesn't have that. And once again, you, as that confident woman, you have to try to show a little bit of grace. And I'm not saying to throw your life in other people's face. Don't brag all the time and stuff like that. But people who are jealous and envious, anything you say can be perceived as bragging. You could have said, I got a new car, and didn't get into the details of what you got. You could have got a 2002 Chevy, whatever, that got 3 wheels. They don't know. But when you say you got a new car, somebody who is envious and jealous, they're automatically going to think you're bragging. So I'm not saying not to speak about anything, all because somebody might perceive it as you bragging, because the jealous, envious spirit, anything you say will be considered bragging. But once again, for us as feminine women, using that grace, you have to use a little bit of grace with people who are jealous. And what I find when you deal with people who are a little bit jealous and insecure, even when they're not jealous of you per se, they just have that jealous spirit. They always have something negative to say about somebody's happiness. Try to engage them about things that are happening in their life. Try to make it about them. Now, you got some women that are as hard as nails. And this is if you're trying to have a relationship with a woman who seems like she has an envious, jealous spirit, but it's not because she wants to. It's just like something about her. You could tell something's wrong, like something happened to make her that way. Those kind of people, you have to try. And I'm telling you, the power of the feminine influence. Sometimes we are able to influence women in a way where they start waking up and realizing, I don't have to be this miserable. I don't have to see the negative in everything. I don't have to look at other people as a threat. Feminine, confident women can be inspiration for women who are jealous, but don't really want to be that way. There are some women, like I said, they just were never taught what it is to truly be a feminine, kind, confident woman. And you have to be that example for them, unfortunately. And it's actually an honor and a privilege to be able to be an example, because that shows growth within yourself. And it shows that you are not a woman that is just so self-absorbed where you think you're the only one. Look, my goal for this channel is to have other women grow into the knowledge of who they are as women, as feminine women, and be so confident that they don't have to be jealous of the next woman. See, if we can nip that in the bud, there would be less girl-on-girl issues. There would be less girl-on-girl jealousy. There would be less envy and strife amongst women when all women tap into their femininity and realize that they too are wonderful women at their core if they take their time to stop being a hater and focus on getting themselves together. Okay? So confident feminine women, when you're dealing with jealous women and you're a little too happy, yeah, they might not like that. But sometimes you're going to have to show grace to the ones who you think, you know what, maybe it's just something with them and maybe I can be an example here. I know it's hard. It takes a level of grace and maturity, but as feminine women, that's what we do. All right. And if the woman that you're trying to inspire, the woman you're trying to give a little grace, does too much, as I said before in previous videos, get rid of that person. Stay away from them, because jealousy and envy can be very dangerous. But if it's a woman who just has bad programming, like many women have had, try to show grace, try to be the example, and under no circumstances do you dumb yourself down. All right? Like and subscribe to the channel and share this content. Hit the notification bell so that you're aware when I post a brand new video. If you watch this video until the very end, hit the high heel emoji, put it in the comment section. I absolutely love to see it. Take care.